Hey guys, um, um, today I wanted to talk about the forehand and a few different ways to hit the forehand in tennis. Um, Semi-western is one grip. A a western is another grip. A eastern forehand's another grip. You can hit a forehand with a continental grip too. Um, the best tennis players will use a dominant type of grip. Like they'll mainly hit most forehands off one of those grips. So like if you got a forehand, you'll hit a western, or you hold a western, or you hold a semi-western forehand grip. But I think you could use more than one grip and use the forehand that suits the situation. Um, as you're getting a bit more advanced, meaning if the ball's low, you might be able to hit a flatter forehand with a flatter grip. And if the ball's higher, you might hold your western grip because your wrist's behind the racket. Um, and when you're a young person playing tennis, you can move your feet really well. So when you move your feet really well, you can tend to play off the one grip for most shots because you can hold a semi-western forehand grip or a western forehand grip. That allows you to get a lot of racket speed on the ball and a lot of top spin on the ball. So if you, when you're a young fella, you can bend your knees and you can jump. So you can basically get to the ball, get to the pitch of the ball, and hit a lot of top spin. Whether it's low, you bend your knees low. Whether it's high, you bend your knees high. When you're an older fella, when the ball's low, you're not getting to the pitch of the ball as well. So what you can do is you can hold a flatter grip, and so change to an eastern forehand or a continental grip. Even a continental grip's a pretty good grip. So you can slap the ball when it's low. And there's two ways to hit the ball hard. One way is to swing fast, and the other way is to slap the ball. Now the um, continental grip, you slap the ball well with a kind of continental grip. You don't slap it well with an eastern forehand grip. No, you slap it well with an eastern forehand grip. You don't slap it well with a semi-western or a western forehand grip because they're your wrist behind the racket, so it doesn't slap well. But when you hold a continental grip or an eastern forehand grip, you slap the ball better. So so when it's low, you can slap it. You can hit the ball hard. And so the ball travels, when you slap the ball flat, the ball doesn't travel like an arc. It travels, it travels straight. So when it travels straight, it bounces and keeps going. So when you hit the ball with a western foot grip or a semi-western grip, the ball arcs. So you can swing fast into it. That's how you hit the ball hard with this western grip. And you swing fast into it, you spin it quite a lot, but the ball arcs. So it'll curve down, bounce, sometimes kick off the court or run away from your opponent. The other thing is a very consistent way to hit the ball. So if you arc the ball and then and aim deep, you can get your opponent running all over the court. So and it doesn't go out because you got a lot of top spin on the ball. So a lot of young people, the young good players, will prefer to hit with a western forehand type of shot because it doesn't miss much, and you swing fast into it, swing as fast as you want into it, aim high over the net so that you're taking the net out of the equation, so it doesn't clip the net. So that's and the top spin brings it in. So you can be using Western grips and hit the ball, yeah, very deep, swing fast, and a very safe way to play. The other thing about those grips too is the lasso forehand comes into play, and the lasso forehand, the way I describe it is, if you hit the ball, your follow through when you hit topspin is really important, because when you hit topspin, if you stop at the ball when you hit the ball, like you paddle the ball, and what happens is, if you stop at the ball, it doesn't spin. So the follow through allows you to impart spin on the ball, right? So if you stop at the ball, no spin, keep going through the ball and brush the ball, put spin on the ball. So when you hold a Western forehand grip, you can swing, you can follow through in like a rainbow action. So the follow through is like a rainbow. Like, think your racket travels like a rainbow, right? Or you can swing through with your racket finishing way above your head. You know what I mean? So, and that, I call that the lasso forehand. Rafael Nadal is one of those type of players that you really notice that he's doing lasso forehands. Now, the lasso forehand's a big advantage. Like, that lasso, but Rafael Nadal doesn't only hit the lasso forehand. He also hits through the ball, and which is going a bit more lateral like swing. So it's you'll see him swing straight across his body, right? So he's flattening the ball out when he hits that shot, and he still hits it with a Western grip. So he's still sort of hitting through the ball and spinning the ball, but he's hitting through it a little bit. And then you'll see him swing through and have his racket travel way above his head. And that shot there is a bit wristier. And that shot there, it's a good shot when you got no feet into the ball. So if you're completely off balance and the ball's almost going to bounce a second time, or it's like you just got to the ball and you're on the wrong foot, you throw the lasso shot, and that allows you to use your wrist to generate power rather than your body weight coming into the ball. Because quite often you might be on the back foot, even the back fence or something like that, and you're on the back foot, you got no chance to get any body weight into the ball. So you throw your lasso, which is brushing the ball, finishing up way above your head, and the wrist whipping into the ball allows you to generate power. So you got no body weight coming forwards, and you can generate power. Now the ball's going to arc when you play that shot, but you're putting that much spin and that much racket speed into it that you get a good result. So I recommend every tennis player, any budding junior, should definitely use the lasso forehand. Whether you hold a flat grip or not, you change your grip, hold a Western grip, and hit the lasso when you're out of position, when you're on the wrong foot, and when you're on the back foot particularly. You can hit a lasso forehand on the front foot as well. You might have to close the racket face off a little bit, like on a short ball or something like that. So come in, step up into it, lasso, finish up above your head. It's all about getting that racket face sort of correct. Like, when you hit a topspin forehand, your racket face should be square. So they talk about 7 degrees closed, like when you say you're hitting a short ball, so you're closer to the net, so you close that racket face off just slightly, like 7 degrees. Like it's almost flat. It's almost square, you know. Um, so generally, every time you hit the ball, your racket face is pretty square, just about for every single shot. So you might open the face up on a low volley, you know what I mean? Like, but generally most shots, when you hit a slice, you feel like the racket face is open, but quite often at contact point it's square. So think about hitting every shot pretty much with a square racket face. If you swing slower when you hit your forehand, if you swing slower and open that racket face just a little bit and sort of loop the ball. So rather than spinning it in, you hit through it a little bit like lobs, but instead of it, you can use that forehand to change the pace of the shot. So maybe in a rally, instead of trying to hit the cover off the ball all the time, you might find that someone doesn't like the pace, like someone loves pace but doesn't like it slow. But see, if you hit slow and short, they'll step up and move you around too much. What you might be able to do is hit deep and float the ball a little occasionally. Not every shot. You do it every shot. The real great players will step up and just smack you and get you running everywhere. So, but as an occasional sort of, rally, maybe loop the ball, open the face up a little, hit, still hit top spin, maybe more of a rainbow follow through, and hit through the ball with a medium pace swing. And, just to change the rally up a little. It's a bit of a safe way to play, particularly if you get the board deep. They can't hurt you when you hit the board deep because they can't hit any angle on you. But what they might do if you do it too often, they might step forwards into the court, into the short area of the court, and take the ball on the full. If they take the ball on the full and they're short, they can hit angle. You got to start looking at using the court to your advantage, and if you hit deep, they can't hit angle against you. If you hit short, they can hit good angles, and that goes for particularly drop shots. If you hit a drop shot close to the net, you can first of all hit a bit of angle, but secondly, the ball bounces small too. So it's a very important thing to get your opponent on the run, and if you can drift in close to the net, you can hit a short one, little drop shot, the ball will bounce small. You use the court to your advantage. So predominantly hit deep, and when you get the short ball, you've got the opportunity to hit the angle. If they've dropped you a little bit short and you've got them on the run, then you're just a little safe little paddle over the net, get them running on a diagonal towards the net. Often they won't get to it because you're close to the net. It'll bounce small. If you try to hit a drop shot from the baseline, the ball bounces big, so they're going to get to it. So you have to. The only way a drop shot from the baseline is going to work is if you do two things. One, have the element of surprise. So you don't do it the whole match, and then all of a sudden you put a drop shot in from the baseline. But if you're going to do that, you have to put a lot of backspin on it so the board doesn't bounce and keep going. You know what I mean? So you put a bit of backspin on it, you put a lot of backspin on it, and the ball will pull up. But in general, I would recommend don't do it. I'd say, look, get your opponent on the run, wait till you get a little bit of a short one, or come into the net, and play the volley into the open court, get him, continue the player, keeping the player on the run, and then put a drop shot because you're close to the net. Take all the pace off it. Doesn't even have to be that good. if you're close to the net when you go for drop shot. Anyway, that's, it's probably steered away from the forehand a little, which was what I want to talk about. And so, we talked about the lasso forehand. We talked about the rainbow follow through forehand, which are all Western grip forehands. So, and we talked about, to hit those forehands, the equation is swing fast, hit topspin. That's how do you hit the ball hard. I always say to my students, how do you hit the ball hard? Swing fast, hit topspin. How do you hit the ball hard? Swing fast. And the other way to hit the ball hard is to slap into the ball, and that's called a flat shot. And that's why a lot of servers slap that ball flat for their first serve. But when you slap the ball, you can also put a little bit of topspin on it, and they call it overspin. So where they, it's not quite flat. It's a little bit of you slap it, and then at the end of the slap, sort of just brush it at the same time. So it's sort of, it's through and up, and it's timing to just be able to. It's like coaches will just coach with that forehand when they're hitting the ball to someone volleying. They just sort of hold it. They won't hit their normal Western forehand grip. They'll hold it continental, and they'll just it works with a low shot. So if the ball's coming to you high, you can't hit it. So if you've only got a continental grip forehand or an Eastern grip forehand, and the ball comes to you high, you've got two options: get back and let it come down lower, or the other option is to hit a smash. You know what I mean? So you just hit a high smash, and that could be a good shot. You know what I mean? But it's not as consistent as driving a topspin Western forehand. So if you're a good player, there's no reason why you can't just change your grip and hit the Western shot. You know what I mean? And then if you want to, when the ball's low, you hold the flatter shot and slap into it. And it's a bit riskier. It's tennis sometimes is risk versus reward. So the ball's not gonna. When the ball arcs, it travels slower to the bounce. When you slap the ball, it travels quicker, and because it's a straight line, it's not an arc. It bounces, it keeps going. So yeah, another type of forehand you could hit would be a slice forehand. And a slice forehand, look, I like the continental grip. I think that's the best grip for a slice forehand. You could maybe use the Eastern forehand, but I wouldn't. The continental grip is holding the racket like a hammer. And a slice forehand, you can hit the ball flatter, so you can sort of have it travel more like a straighter line and firm. You firm into the slice forehand. The other way to hit a slice forehand is to say put a bit of spin on the ball, but we don't use the slice forehand too often, to tell you the truth. Like if we're going to use a slice forehand, you'd use it to get the ball back sometimes when you're completely out of court.
Yeah, we smash everything in it.